So when you have a fragrance as popular and as hyped as Aventus is, everyone wants a piece of the action. Brands copy it. Cologne houses come up with their own version of Aventus. And I can see why we have Aventus Cologne today, because Crede is losing out on all the potential sales they could have had if those brands and cologne houses didn't copy Aventus. So how do you stimulate more sales? Then you come up with Aventus Cologne, which it makes Aventus the most copied fragrance in the world. I think it's really copied so much. Now it's copied by its own company, Crede. So in this video today, I'm going to tell you all about Aventus Cologne, and also I'm going to compare it to the original Aventus, and perhaps even Aventus For Her. Sorry, this is not the right cap, this is a tester bottle. So if you want to find out all about these fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into this channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I just want to say these three fragrances were all purchased by me. They were not sent to me. In fact, Crede Boutique did reach out to me and they said they wanted to send me a sample. And they wanted me to do some kind of a promotion where I would invite my followers to get a chance to have a sample. And I pretty much declined that because that's a little too much work for me to do just for some sample. But I did buy this bottle. I didn't physically buy it myself. I had a friend coming back from France and I had them pick me up a bottle. So I have it. I don't know if they bought it from France, so they were traveling England and to France, so probably one of those places. But anyway, Crede Aventis Cologne is a 2019 launch. Its concentration is EDP Eau de Parfum. 100 ml bottle is $435. Very, very expensive for the kind of fragrance that you get with Aventus. The perfumer is Olivier Crede. What do we have for notes here? We have at the top ginger, Mandarin, Baie rose. In the heart you've got Patchouli, Indian sandalwood, Vetiver. In the base notes you have Styrax, Birch, Musk, and Tonka bean. Where is that freaking pineapple note that is so prominent in here? I don't see it displayed. These notes are taken off of the Crede Boutique website, so these are like exactly what notes they list for the actual fragrance, but I do get some pineapple-y touches here. It's not as fruity as the original Crede Aventis, which even though it is fruity, this is actually a lot woodier than this fragrance here. Even though this has lots of fruit, the fruitiness is balanced with the woodiness. Here, I find this to be not as sharp, a lot more smoother and I guess fresher and muskier than the original Crede Aventis. But Crede Aventus was launched in 2010. Its concentration once again is EDP Eau de Parfum. 100 ml bottle is $435, same as this one. For notes we have top bergamot, blackcurrant, leaves, apple, pineapple. And then in the heart notes you got pinkberries, birch, patchouli, jasmine. In the base notes you got musk, oakmoss, ambergris, and vanilla. And as I was saying, this one's a lot fruitier, but it's also a lot woodier. So even though you pick up the fruitiness of that pineapple, it is woody at the same time. In fact, this one goes into a very smoky territory, whereas this one doesn't. But once you get past, personally, once you get past the fact that there's no pineapple here in Crede Aventis Cologne, and the fact that this is a lot smoother and softer, not a lot of harsh woody notes or smoky notes like Crede Aventis, the fragrances to me are very, very close. In fact, it's an offspring of this one pretty much. It's made to be a lot smoother, fresher, a lot muskier, a lot cleaner. In fact, I would go on to say, even though this is a clean fragrance, this one's a lot cleaner than this one because we're not getting that smoky quality that we get with this one. In fact, this one actually goes into a green territory as well. It's very, very fresh. It is woody, but it's not as woody as this one, and very, very aromatic. So I've been testing the two together. In fact, what I've been doing is wearing one on one arm and the other on another arm just to test to see what their differences are. I'm pretty much getting similar longevity. And even though, like I said, this one starts out fruity with that pineapple, once the pineapple disappears, it becomes just really woody and kind of, I'm not saying it's boring, even though this is the original. This is still my favorite, but I'm really liking the way this works actually, and the fact that this is a lot muskier. But this is the kind of musk that I really like, the fresh, clean musk. Even though I like those animalic musks, light hints of animalic musks, this is such a clean, clean musk. It's like laundry sheets kind of clean muskiness, if that makes sense to you guys, because it makes the kind of fragrance that you want to wear when you're not really want something complicated. You want something simplistic, a dumb reach kind of fragrance. In fact, both of these are kind of dumb reach fragrances, very expensive dumb reach fragrances, because I like to leave those dumb reach fragrances for something a lot cheaper, perhaps like the Zara Vibrant Leather or those kind of fragrances that are supposedly clones or inspired by Aventus, but they're not. These are not very smart fragrances, at least to me. They're just very simplistic fragrances that when you want to wear a fragrance that it's not so complicated. And a lot of my dumb reach fragrances are also the kind of fragrances that garner compliments, because both of these do. People find them to be very, very, very pleasant. Now, as far as longevity goes, I think even though Crede Aventis is still the more longer lasting fragrance, I thought this came pretty close. It really did come really close. It's not it's not a loud fragrance. It's not as loud as this one. The softness of this fragrance actually makes it a lot quieter and calmer, but still there is still some energy to the fragrance. It has this beautiful projection when you first spray it, and there's that slight metallic touch at the beginning, just like this one goes, kind of sharp, but this one's a lot sharper. The sharpness is a lot more cutting, sharper than the fact that this one has that softness. It doesn't make that sharpness at the top, the sharpness at the top, very, very sharp. I hope that makes sense. It's softer. This is a much more softer experience. Now, Aventus Cologne, the names, I'm going to tell you about the names here. I like the name Aventus. It's one that I know. I've known about this fragrance for for some time now, since 2012 when I first started doing videos. I can appreciate this fragrance, even though I find it to be overly priced. It's just expensive. I don't know if these are both worth the price tag. So $435 is really, really outrageously overpriced to me. The word cologne I'm having a challenging time with. I don't know why I'm having a challenging time with it. It's just, I'm anticipating something very, very light and refreshing. Even though it's very, very light, then they should have called it eau de toilette or eau de cologne or something like that, and the price tag probably should have been a lot less, like $235 for 100 ml. But it kind of, I guess it's confusing to me, because if it's a cologne, why is an EDP concentration? That's just a little issue that I have with this. Even though I like the way it smells, I'm just thinking, I'm gonna get a cologne. It's not really a cologne, it's EDP concentration. I don't know what the percentage of the oils are. Perhaps they're 15 to 20%, typical of eau de parfum concentration fragrances. It acts like a cologne, but you're paying the eau de parfum concentration price. Does that make sense? Those are kind of like little issues I have with it. But then again, as I said at the very beginning of the video, they wanted to make something like this just to kind of like get back on the customers that they lost to all those companies that are, you know, cloning Aventus, because it's been cloned so many times. I've just run across so many different clones of Aventus. I'm like so overwhelmed and so bored. Like, there's no originality left. Let's just copy the hell out of Crede's Aventus, because it's the easiest fragrance to wear. That kind of like is a really annoying thing about the industry, I guess, because there's no real originality left. Even now we're going to Crede, they're cloning their own version of Aventus. Now, I'm not saying this is like an identical clone. I think my theory at the beginning of what I mentioned as far as sales go, I think that's probably why this Aventus Cologne came about. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate these fragrances. There's just some issues that I have with them, like price. These are fragrances I like to wear after smelling countless different intense fragrances, and I still want to wear a fragrance at night or something when I'm going out, and I reach for something like this. But like I said, those are the kind of fragrances that are dumb reach fragrances where the price tag is so high. Anyway, those are my little issues with this launch. And I also want to touch on Aventus For Her a little bit. This came out 3 years ago, I think, in 2016, inspired from the original Aventus, and again, my cap is not the original cap because this is a tester, it didn't come with a cap. I'm just using this as a placeholder. But Aventus For Her is a 75 ml bottle, I think, is the original, and I think it's like $405. I'm not really 100% sure on the price. I can't remember because I bought this from a discounter. This is a lot fruitier than both of these. In fact, the fruits in here are not the same fruits that are in here. I think there's peach and there are some additional floral notes as well. But I think it's kind of in that same ballpark of fragrances, of fruity, woody, kind of musky fragrances. But I'm not sure this was actually a success for Crede. I'm not really, I don't know, I'm just kind of like blabbing here and just offering my own thoughts and opinions about these fragrances. But personally, I think Aventus has such a hype around with guys and men and bros and things like that. I'm not sure if the customers or clientele of Crede that are women would really like to wear Aventus For Her. I'm not really sure, but I could be totally wrong. I think Aventus and Aventus Cologne is probably just totally like a men's hype, if that makes sense to you guys. But I'm not really disappointed with the way this smells. I really do like it. It's one of those fragrances that I like to wear. Not something that I like to wear every day because I like to wear a little more intense or a little more challenging fragrance, a lot deeper, richer. But this is like at the end of the day when you want something not so complicated and complex, wear something like this. But this is my own thoughts and opinions. I like the fact that this came really close to the original Crede as far as longevity goes. I like the fact that this is not so harsh and woody and sharp and smoky. A lot calmer, softer, muskier, cleaner. In fact, it's cleaner than this one, so I do quite enjoy that. But I just think the price tag is really outrageous. $435 for a 100 ml bottle, which a lot of you guys that are watching probably cannot afford $435. That's why we have the clones. That's why there are so many clones of Aventus, because it's so expensive that people make their own versions and sell them for a lot cheaper. Like Zara sells so many versions of the fragrances inspired by Crede that are only like $20 or $30 for 100 ml, 120 ml, and then you've got something that smells kind of close. So maybe that's why a lot of brands copy this, because it's so damn expensive for a bottle. In fact, that's probably why it's hurting, and maybe that's why the reason they came out with the Aventus Cologne, to bring back some of the sales that are going out. And again, I'm speculating on all of this information. I'm not 100% sure it's true, but that's my theories, that's my thinking of why such things would happen with this fragrance. Anyway, that's kind of my own thoughts on Aventus Cologne. I don't know if you guys have tried it or not. Would you pay $435 for a 100 ml bottle? I know eventually it'll end up at discounters, and I'm sure it'll be maybe perhaps $100 less, maybe $150 less for the 100 ml. So at that time, it's probably going to be worth it for you guys. But then again, are you happy with the clones? And I hope there will be something more original coming soon from every brand, not necessarily Crede, because I'm into the idea of something very unique. In fact, I also want to mention Viking from Crede was really great fragrance. I really do enjoy that one. It was different, it was unique, kind of sort of like a classy men's fougere style woody fragrance, maybe perhaps leaning a slight bit aquatic. I really do enjoy that fragrance. I enjoy this one too. I love the House of Crede, don't get me wrong, but I just think that this is a very repetitive fragrance. Anyway, Crede Aventis and Crede Aventus Cologne. Put some comments down, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with my theories and my thoughts on the house of Crede and Aventus Cologne? Or maybe you completely do not agree and you are obsessed with Aventus Cologne. Let me know your thoughts. Put some comments down. Let's get a conversation started. Other than that, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.